Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Region Angels. This is a show that features usually nonprofits in the area of Northwest Indiana, but we opened it up recently to highlight business owners or investors, angel investors, volunteers. So we really try to just highlight good things that are happening in our backyard in the region. And today, we have the Crown Point Community Foundation and two very special guests. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, but I'm excited to learn more about this hype that's been going on around the region, this $1 million event. I don't want to speak for you in any way, so we're going to learn about all about what that is. But yeah, this is exciting. So my name's Gloria Morris. I started this show in 2017. It used to be called Speaking of Charity, but now it is called the Region Angels. Normally we broadcast out of the WJOB studios. Today we're doing a remote um, recording so that we have a little bit more flexibility, but we're going to get right into it. So today we have Mary and Buffy. Mary, I'm going to let you go first. What is Mary all about? Where are you from? Tell us a little bit about you before we get into the whole Crown Point Community Foundation.
Well, first, I'll just thank you, Gloria, for having us today. Appreciate it very much. I'm Mary Nielsen. I'm president of the Crown Point Community Foundation, but I have lived in Crown Point now for the majority of my life. Born and raised actually in Northwest Indiana, moved to Crown Point 3 years old, been very involved and so forth. Move us forward a little bit, married, my husband Keith, have two daughters. That are doing very well, one down in Indianapolis and one in Macomb, Illinois, and just privileged to be a part of the Crown Point Community Foundation and the good work that we're doing throughout not only our immediate service area in the south part of Lake County, but also throughout the region.
Great. Well, I can't wait to learn more about the Community Foundation. Who do we have with us today? Your sidekick over here, Mary. Do you want to
Well,
introduce her?
I will introduce my sidekick, good friend, colleague, Buffy Adams, who is our Vice President of Philanthropy for the Foundation. And I'll let Buffy share a little bit about herself.
Hey, thanks, Mary. Thanks, Gloria. The only bad thing about this virtual stuff is we can't be together feeling each other's energy because I always get filled up when I'm in your presence. So that's the only bad thing about this, but appreciate the opportunity. So yeah, I'm Buffy.
We'll do it. We'll follow up in person.
Thanks. Gloria, as you know, and Mary has seen me go through many different nonprofit roles around the region. I have a big heart for Northwest Indiana and really just love getting my hands in so many different kind of organizations and so many different kind of missions. And man, the Crown Point Community Foundation brings it all together because we serve and fund and come alongside all the nonprofits in Northwest Indiana. So I think I finally found my perfect home in the Crown Point Community Foundation.
Incredible. So yeah, I think it's really important to tell people what a community foundation is. I'm a board member with the Legacy Foundation, and I know even being on the board, it's hard to articulate what community foundations really do. So I'd love for you to explain what it is that makes a foundation different than a regular nonprofit.
And that's a great question because there's a lot of confusion on what is a community foundation versus a direct service providing nonprofit agency. So I'll give you the quick on what a community foundation is. We're basically a funding organization. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization, but our focus area is very different from your direct service providers. We basically provide support to them and to the community as a whole. So there's three main parts of a community foundation and what our role really is. And that is number one, a endowment builder. So we create what's called endowment funds. They're permanent funds. I always, from the simplistic, just look at this layman terms, almost like a bank account in a sense. People can create an account, individuals, families, organizations, and even the nonprofit agencies themselves. And they can create a fund, and those dollars get invested in the market, and the dividends from those, or the gains, are used to have distributions that support nonprofit organizations throughout the community. So that's the primary role, as an endowment builder. And then our secondary role, which is a big part of what we do, is really a grant maker. So we have a number of different grant programs that we manage and operate, and you're going to hear more on our very special initiative, our $1 million challenge. But on our everyday annual basis, we have 3 grant cycles: nonprofit organizations, 501c3s, churches, municipalities, educational institutions, and even faith-based organizations can apply for grants through the foundation. And we have 3 cycles that they can apply in. It's a February, June, or September cycle. They apply for grants to help expand their mission, various programs and projects that they run and operate, and we provide them the funding to be able to elevate the work that they're doing and provide more supports to their clients throughout the community. And the third role of a community foundation is really a community connector. One of the beauties of a foundation is, because we work with so many nonprofits as well as other businesses and organizations, we have a unique way of being able to connect the various groups together to collaborate on all kinds of different initiatives that just basically support the community as a whole, to elevate those living within Northwest Indiana. And our whole mission is really just focused on enhancing the quality of life and quality of a place within Southlake County, Indiana, and the region as a whole. Buffy,
Okay,
anything
so-
you'd like to add, or
Yeah.
Gloria, questions?
Yeah, I do. I have a bunch of questions, but Buffy, do you want to go ahead and add anything to that?
Oh my gosh, nobody can describe the Crown Point Community Foundation better than Mary Nielsen. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, one of the questions I have is, it is called the Crown Point Community Foundation, but you mentioned that it serves the region and Southlake County. So how do you kind of qualify what organizations receive the grants? Like, what's that process? And if you don't mind, Mary, I think it's great for people to see your website. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that up on the screen while you're talking. But yeah, how do you kind of figure out, who should get what?
Yeah, well, and we're kind of a unique animal, a community foundation. And, one of the things that, is interesting, because you say, our name is Crown Point Community Foundation, but our work really is more expansive than just what I would call our primary service area. Community foundations, by good old IRS regulations, really are there to support a specific geographic area. When the Crown Point Community Foundation was established back in 1990, the board was really specifically looking at the community of Crown Point to supply and support those nonprofits that are supporting the residents within our community. Over time, they realized that they wanted to be more involved in surrounding communities in addition to Crown Point. So our primary area is the Crown Point, Cedar Lake, Lowell, kind of that Tri-Creek area, and Winfield. But because we work in collaboration with a lot of our partnering community foundations, such as the Legacy Foundation, which is also in Lake County, we also do a lot of our grant initiatives and different projects and whatnot throughout Lake County as a whole. In addition to working very closely with the Porter County Community Foundation and the Unity Foundation of LaPorte County. Our 4 foundations in the 3 counties work very collaboratively together, and we have been for multiple years, really since the 1992, once Legacy was formed, and the Unity Foundation. So collectively, and a lot of this, and you'll hear a little bit more on Lilly Endowment. Lilly Endowment creates many funding opportunities for the foundations and grant opportunities. And so that's one of the reasons why we work very collaboratively with our neighboring foundations and are able to work beyond our immediate service area and expand that into the full county as well as the region as a whole through our collaboration with our neighboring foundations.
Very complex. So much great work. I brought up the website, and just so that people know, it's thecpcf.org. So really, short URL. Crown Point Community Foundation is what it stands for, thecpcf.org. You'll learn all about all of these different programs and nonprofits you've been supporting, which we can talk about. Your vision statement is on here, different funds, different news, different events. So great snapshot of what this is, but we could probably talk about it for an hour, right?
Definitely. And really a lot of it is dependent upon, the way we operate and the areas that we serve is really dependent upon the various fund types that we have available for individuals, organizations, agencies, and so forth to create. So depending upon the fund type that they're creating, we manage it differently. It has different purposes on like what types of initiatives it supports and things of that nature. So I have to say it is very interesting working for a community foundation. Prior to myself joining the foundation, I was with our family business for a number of years. But being with the foundation has been one of the biggest joys of my life because I get to work with so many people that are just doing good in the community and just working together just to be able to support, not just needs, but opportunities and creating those opportunities together. So it's been a lot of fun and a joyful experience to elevate our communities as a whole.
Yeah, fantastic. And when did you say that you started?
I started actually coming up to 10 years. It'll be 10 years with the foundation this coming summer. So in 2016, I joined, and it's been a whirlwind, lots of learning and education, and so many collaborations and partnerships and just colleagues throughout the state. Because one thing I do want to mention too, because Indiana is very unique the way that community foundations operate. We're in fact the only state in the country that operates the way that we do here in Indiana, and much of it is because of the Lilly Endowment. Lilly Endowment, who, as you know, is down in Indianapolis, Lilly Pharmaceuticals and so forth. And their founder started this endowment fund, and they wanted to be able to support the whole state as a whole. But they knew that by sitting in Indianapolis, they couldn't be the eyes and ears and know what's happening in every corner of the state. So they learned about community foundations and thought, what if we helped to establish community foundations in every county in Indiana and help to supplement their funding through our endowment to do good across the state? So Indiana is the only state that has community foundations in every one of its counties. So it's very unique. We collaborate very closely together. I feel like I can go anywhere in the state of Indiana, and I have friends that I could call upon and, go and just bounce ideas off of and so forth. And it's just been a huge support mechanism to have all of these wonderful colleagues throughout the state, all doing the same work. Our missions are the same: enhance the quality of life in the communities that we serve. And we have the benefit of working together to be able to do that, not only because of the work of Lilly, but because of just how we partner and enhance the efforts and learn and share from one another to bring good things in our communities to other communities throughout the state.
I love that Indiana is so unique. And how many counties are in the whole state?
92. So there's technically 94 community foundations that are recognized by the Lilly Endowment. And a couple of those, and I'll use Lake County as an example, because we're one of the 2 counties that have multiple foundations that are recognized. So there's us in the south part, and then the Legacy Foundation is the full part of Lake County as well. So, but 94 community foundations representing all 92 counties.
Unbelievable. Okay, so just for people listening who might not know, I just wanted to mention something that really pulls me to the foundation. I love things that scale. I don't love, doing kind of one thing that's going to benefit one program just because I feel like the more people you can reach, the better, right? So I joined the Service League of Northwest Indiana, which is about 30 women who do volunteer work in the region, inspired by my mother-in-law. And one of the reasons why I love being a part of that, and I'm going into year 10, Mary. So we must have just
See?
started, but I mean, yours is much more official. Mine's very much just volunteer. I love that we can touch so many nonprofits, right? That's what I
Definitely.
love about the Service League, and that's why I got involved in the Legacy Foundation, and certainly why I've had any touch point with Crown Point Community Foundation, which I'd like to be more involved with. But yeah, it's so cool. So just anybody listening, walk away with this is if you're going to volunteer, if you're going to put resources towards something, community foundations are amazing because you can reach so many and there's so many different kind of threads
Yes.
of benefit that you really build foundation for. So, okay.
Yep.
Wow. Tons of information. I learned so much. I had no idea about the one for every county and then extra. So 94. That's an unbelievable number. And I had no idea that we were the only state in the country that did this. Like I try to tell people how cool Indiana is. I travel all over the place, and when I say I'm from Indiana, they don't understand us. We're complex. We're very caring people. This is a unique place. So more
Yes, it
evidence.
is.
Okay, I think we have to spend some time now and understand what in the heck is going on with this $1 million grant event you guys kicked off. First of all, kudos to whoever put this campaign together. I felt electricity. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like I could feel this hype. And I was out of town when the big event happened, so I sent Leslie Fig in my place to learn more. But whatever you did to come up with this plan to gain awareness, I feel like wow, that has just been so successful. And the other thing I wanted to call out, and forgive me if I'm stealing any thunder, is this network you put together for nonprofits that are kind of in this mix of going towards applying for these grants. I love it so much. I love the idea of the connections and the community and bringing people together. And I love that you're using technology to do it. That's kind of inspired my whole Region Angels concept. So we could talk about that in another time. But I love what you're doing. So congratulations on whatever it is. Now tell us what the heck is going on.
Thank you. And I am going to let Buffy share because I see her. She is just getting antsy over there. This has truly been a team effort. We work as a team and we brainstorm and come up with ideas, and we're always creatively thinking and how can we better support the nonprofits that are within our communities and leverage some of the dollars that we receive from the Lilly Foundation. So Buffy's going to share all about our $1 million kickoff and our program and what this is all about. So Buffy, take it away.
Yeah, you did. You really did. And there's a buzz. There's a buzz. Mhm. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Telling you, I feel it. It is truly, I'm so glad that you took the challenge to be big and bold. There is no better time to do that. It makes no sense to play it safe anymore. We like this is a real catalyst for change. So it's really ambitious of you. And I think it's fantastic. I also think I see, of course, Buffy sits in front of the sign. And you notice like she's on brand right now, like right. I just think it's also done such a great thing for visibility for your foundation too. And I think that's, really commendable. So very exciting to see what this is all going to be about. I would love to sign up to feature every applicant that does this. I think, this could be really fun to interview all of these different people. It brings me such joy to see the excitement that these people have in coming up with these ideas. So, what's the next step? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just showed it for a second to show like it
Yeah,
it felt magic,
and
right?
exactly.
I
And
yeah,
not to interrupt, but what the way that the Crown Point Community Foundation and our board, even though we're a funding organization, our goal is really to support that nonprofit even beyond our funding. And that was really the catalyst, and kind of moving into this initiative just made perfect sense. And you talked earlier about volunteer work and things of that nature, and we know how dependent nonprofits are on having those good solid volunteers. So our organization 17 years ago started what we call our volunteer fair, and it's a way for the nonprofits to be in front of community members that could come and learn about their mission, learn about their volunteer opportunities, learn more how they can just be more supportive overall. So this was an area that our board felt was very important to move beyond the funding. And then in addition to that, we started more with, the educational components and how we can help elevate the sector as a whole. So we had a number of different convenings, workshops, seminars that we would put on periodically, but we wanted it to be more intentional around that. So we launched back in, 2 years ago, and actually just, 2024, we launched what we called our Nonprofit Academy, as Buffy shared. And it's a way to educate the sector from workforce development and leadership types of initiatives, but utilizing talent that is from the nonprofit sector so that the people that are working in this industry, they're getting the type of information and learning and convenings and things of that nature that are very
Right.
specific to a nonprofit organization. Because we know there's tons of different educational programs that are out everywhere, from in person to virtual to whatever. It's just tons of it. But not a lot of it is geared directly towards that nonprofit leader. And our work is so different and unique. So we really took it upon ourselves to not just be that foundation that is funding the organizations, but we wanted to support them as a whole. And so this initiative, really, as we started discussing it and this opportunity through this gift program that Lilly operates, and I'll explain what that is, because what's this gift initiative? And we're in gift 9. GIFT is an acronym that the Lilly Endowment uses, and it stands for Giving Indiana Funds for Tomorrow. So that's what they call their overall statewide initiatives, and they introduce them out to the foundations. We never know when we're going to have a new gift program become available. We actually, at the end of 2025, just ended with their Gift 8 initiative, which included some matching elements and ways that we could help support the community
So
overall.
generous.
Exactly.
So generous.
And
Unbelievable.
they're an unbelievable organization. We're very blessed to live in our state and have the support of Lilly Endowment. It's been incredible. And so Lilly, knowing what the nonprofits have been facing, and lack of funding on a state level, on a federal level, lack of some donations being less from even public support and from organizations. So they wanted to be there to help support the nonprofits, and the way they do that is working through the community foundations. So now we're in Gift 9. They launched it at the tail end of Gift 8, and with this unique opportunity to do something creative, unique, bold, that could just help support the sector as a whole. So as Buffy shared, we came together, came up with this great, $1 million challenge, and we're just in the midst of it with a number of rounds. And come December 3rd, we'll know who those winners are and be able to do some more great things to benefit our community as a whole.
So exciting. Congratulations on just such an innovative approach to this program. It's really been fun to watch this hype, and it's going to be so cool to see what people come up with. So congratulations. Before we wrap up, what other ways can people get involved with the Community Foundation?
Buffy, you want to start off with some of those wonderful ways?
Okay. Yes. Oh,
Oh,
she
we
was
just lost her, so I'll finish that thought.
yeah, finish
the
that thought.
beauty of starting an endowment is you're able to support that nonprofit not only today but
Yeah,
long after you're no longer able to provide that support. It's in
yes,
perpetuity. It's going to year after year after year create funding for that organization. Because we sometimes get the question from, a potential donor of, well, why would I want to work with a community foundation versus just giving direct to the cause
right.
that I love? And my answer is you can do both. But the beauty of the foundation is while you're giving to that organization, maybe on a monthly basis or annually, where they might give to one of their fundraising initiatives or so forth, which we encourage them to do that. But when you
Of
give to
course.
the foundation, and especially if they create a fund, that fund is, because it's invested, it's going to continue to grow. And those distributions that come off of those funds are giving grants to those nonprofits year after year after year.
Yeah,
So
it's
even
sustainable. It's like a
it's sustainable,
sustainable model.
exactly.
Yeah,
So it's helping that foundation, or not the foundation, it's helping that nonprofit from a sustainability standpoint, because they know that there's guaranteed dollars that are coming their way through these funds that are coming from our donor base that is there to support the nonprofits and the work that they do. So it's a really interesting concept of how we work kind of in tandem with the direct service providers, but yet as really a support mechanism, providing that funding, providing the education, providing the opportunities for them to grow and enhance the work they're doing, get those volunteers that they so desperately need to help support the work they do each and every day. So it's just been a pleasure to work in collaboration with them. And as Buffy shared earlier, our whole $1 million challenge is all about the nonprofits really collaborating more closely with one another. Because I think we all are aware, and I'll use the example of Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels provides a wonderful service, but they know that their clients, if they have a need for the food items that are being delivered to them by Meals on Wheels, they probably have other kinds of community needs that may be
sure.
supported by another nonprofit. So by working together collectively, multiple nonprofits, they're able to
Yes.
provide the services to make that person whole as themselves, and more sustained, and just a better overall quality of life for that person and their families. So that's the beauty of how all of that kind of works together.
Look at who this celebrity guest is. She's back right at the tail end just to say goodbye.
We never know when Buffy's popping up. So
She's like a genie bouncing in and out of a bottle, but she can't hear us. But um, I really think this is such an exciting time for the region. Thank you for all that you're doing. Thank you, Buffy, if she can hear us. Thank you, Buffy, for setting this up and making sure we got the word out about your, this campaign, your organization, and certainly I'll be spreading the word and looking for ways to get more personally involved myself. But anything else you would like to say before we wrap, Mary?
well, just number one, thank you again for this opportunity. And if you're interested in learning more about the foundation, give us a call, check us out on our website, thecpcf.org. We're happy to help with you, or help you, and show you the wonderful opportunities that you can create, keeping your philanthropic dollars here locally in our communities. It's a great place to be able to help and serve others right in your own hometown.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Buffy. And we will hopefully have a follow-up show to see what progress was made. And definitely we'll have another show after we announce the winners of this, all of the winners of this big campaign.
That would be
So
phenomenal. Thank you.
thank you. And thanks everybody for tuning in to the Region Angels and kind of bearing with us as we're doing this remote little experimentation. I think it's going to just keep getting better and better. But if you know of anybody that you'd like to nominate to be on the Region Angels show and be featured, go to regionangels.org. It will take you to the page where you can nominate somebody, and then we'll get a form. And hopefully get them scheduled for the show, as we really want to get as many people featured who are doing good. We really want to focus on the amazing things happening in the region. So until next time, Gloria Morris, thank you all for tuning in, and have